you to go to Dudiel and fight him. So early next morning, Kesar in full armor set out for Dudiel to destroy the demon. Surmounting many trials, Kesar rode his divine horse into the courtyard of the demon's castle. The demon's enchanting wife was alone and surprised to see a handsome warrior at her gate. Kesar smiled and sang her a song. "O Queen Bumsia Bumskid, you are more beautiful than the smile of the moon. I am Kesar, King of Ling. I have travelled a great distance to meet you." Bumsia Bumskid was charmed and opened the door for him. She hid Kesar in a pit beneath the floor. Late at night the demon returned and lay down to sleep. Kesar came out with his poisoned knife. The demon woke up and recognized Kesar. He implored him to spare his life. "I shall be your servant and give you my warm land where you can live in winter." Kesar withdrew his knife, but Ane Kurman, his celestial aunt, admonished him. So with one stroke he cut the demon's body into two halves and buried them under a large stone. The demon's wife Bumsvia Bumskid then pleaded, "O great King of Ling, you have destroyed the demon. Now please drink this cooling wine." She served him the potion of forgetfulness, which Kesar drank in one sip and forgot all about the land of the Ling.
Not more than 100,000 people live in Ladakh. Almost half of them are Buddhist and the other half Muslim. Islam came to Ladakh in the 16th century. It is difficult to establish when Buddhism was introduced here. Ladakhis believe that Buddhism came to Ladakh first and from here traveled to Tibet. This 9-meter-tall sculpture of the Maitreya, the future Buddha, is evidence of the passage of Buddhist missionaries through this region during the 7th and 8th century.
But if you were to ask what was the cosmology of the Kesar, it seems to represent very much a pre-Buddhist shamanic sort of world. It has the realm of the heavens, and then the realm of the underworld, and then the realm in between, which is also known as the realm of human beings or men. So these are the three realms it is divided into. As I'm sure you know from having read the Kesar, that it has many shamanic elements. The hero and many other characters in the Kesar change forms very easily. You know, can become human beings one day, and then animals the next day, a bird the third day, and so forth.
The Tibetan, the scholar claim that they had civilization, they had tradition, they had culture before the introduction of Buddhism in Tibet in 7th century AD. You know, they had this shamanistic system. That Onpo system is very much, you know, practiced in Ladakh. In almost, you know, for 3 to 4 villages we have one Onpo, and the Onpo has its own ritual, its own text, which is entirely different from that of Buddhism.
वो हमारा आलम है। जिस किसी को थोड़ा बीमार आता है ना, इसीलिए इसको ये यहाँ निशान लगाता है तो ये साफ होता है। हाँ, ये आलम बोलता है हमारे उर्दू का, मौलवी का आलम है। अब बुद्धिस्टों का छत पर भी रखता है, मने पर भी रखता है, वो चोटी पर भी रखता है। हाँ, उनका भी कहता है यही है।
इस केसर की कहानी में ऐसे सब चीजें हैं?
हाँ जी, केसर की कहानी में भी है।
ये अलम मलम है?
हाँ हाँ, है।
कहाँ है?
पूरा कहा है वहाँ पर।
क्या कहा है?
जिस किसी ने उस पर जो अपना हमारा जो उम्र जो है ना ऊंचा रहे, सब रहे, रहने के लिए उन्होंने तरसुक बोलता है बुद्धू ने, तरसुक उठाता है। इस तरह हमारे मुसलमानों ने इस तरह से ये आलम उठाता है। हाँ, ये है हमारा। क्यों नहीं, हमें बोलता है तरक्की हो जाए, फॉर्मेशन हो जाए, बोलता है ना। इसी तरह हमारा उम्र भी तरक्की हो जाना, सब रहना, अच्छा रहने के लिए ये उठाता है।
In the meantime, the king of Hor sent his 2 wise ravens to find him a suitable bride. They soon returned. O great king, in the land of the Ling dwells Duguma. She is beautiful, her upper half golden, the lower half turquoise. Her husband Kesar is lost in the demon's land, and all the 18 heroes have gone to the cold valley for sport. Now is the time to attack Ling. The king of Hor attacked Ling castle. Duguma took up arms and fought bravely. Shankaramiru, who was the head of the Hor army, came to her and said, "Since Kesar has been away for so long, I beseech you to marry our king." Duguma replied, "Your king will have to pass many tests before I will come with you." She asked the king of Hor to bring her a wild yak, and then she asked for a wild wolf. After that she asked him to build her a castle of sheepdung. And in this way she stalled him for 27 years. Finally, she had to submit and become the wife of the king of all.
It cannot be denied, for example, that all the way from eastern Tibet, the area known as Kham, all the way into Hunza, Nagar Baldistan, and perhaps even into Gilgit, there is a cultural continuum. You know, there is a cultural continuum. The people, their symbols are similar, whether it be the prayer flag or whether it be the clothes that they wear, and so forth. I was very interested. I mean, as you know, I'm building a house, yeah, and we had sort of positioned the house, and the entry was going to be from the north, you know, I was approached by the architect and said, listen, I don't think you should have the entry on the north, you should have it on the east. I was intrigued because the architect happened to be a Muslim. So finally then he said, no, it's not auspicious. So we've switched the entrance to the eastern entrance. And certainly there is nothing Islamic about that notion. I think it has to do more with the local culture.
इसको हो गया जनाब जमीन के नीचे हमारे जबान में जनाब लालू लुटकिन आ गया है। अब लुटकिन जब आ गया तो लुटकिन की नाराजगी से शुरू से यानी जमीनी नीचे जो रहने वाले माखलूक की उससे इसको तकलीफ हुआ, नाराजगी से तकलीफ हुआ है, जिस तकलीफ की इलाज जो है गिलों लामा साहब मतलब इलाज
Having forgotten all about Ling, Kesar was in Dudiel, the land of demons, living happily with the demon's wife, Bamsua Bumskid, and their baby daughter. Meanwhile, Aguda Pale, one of the 18 heroes, sent 2 birds in search of Kesar. The 2 birds reached Dudiel. They found Kesar playing at dice with Bamsua Bumskid. Kesar heard the birds and looked up, and one of the birds dropped his excrement into Kesar's mouth. Kesar vomited, and with it came out some of the poison that Bamsua Bumskid had fed him. Some of Kesar's memory returned. He said to the birds, "O birds in the sky, you remind me of Ling. If you have good news, roll about on the white carpet which I am laying down for you, and eat fresh meat. If not, roll about on the black carpet and eat the flesh of carcasses." The birds went to the black carpet and ate the flesh of carcasses. As full memory was restored to him, Kesar was filled with anguish and wept bitter tears of regret. He put on his armor and lifted his sword. Then, along with Bamsua Bumskid and their daughter, Kesar got on to his divine horse, Kengjugnerpa, and rode on. Kengjugnerpa hated Bamsua Bumskid, for she had mistreated him and fed him rotten grass. So while crossing the deep waters, he suddenly swung round and threw her and the daughter back onto the shore. Bamsua Bumskid was enraged. She killed her daughter, threw the upper half at Kesar, and devoured the lower half. Kesar wept bitterly and built a stupa for his daughter.
Here, you see, the old people of the Baltistan, see, they were also Buddhists, you see. So they, after becoming a Muslim also, so they continued to relate this story.
Did they make any changes in it?
No, they didn't change it. No, it is so beautiful, you see, that the whole language, you see, and the manner of relating the story, and you see that you will see the whole picture, you see, coming before you, see. Yeah. So then what happened in Baltistan and other places, you see, then afterwards the religious people, you see, like, say, Agas and Sheikhs and Maulvis, you see, they asked them to not to tell this story, not to sing these stories. Yeah. They long back, say, I met a young man from Kargil, say. So we were traveling together, and I asked him, so why they stop them to relate this story? And then he was telling me, you know, and they say so that then the Kesar seems like God. That is why they don't like it.
Tap yani kerana tantani tamroga norzgo chuzgo bazgo tama sazgo tama sunset pohogama kerama chargo chine veritba ya amar yala chugzes ko yani kerana jay bay tums khura za jay wajay zosana ko yani kerana tantan tamroga la sharbi prola songlo ju 차직 비가나 샤르본을 제줄에 아바케 겐티 샤드 샤골 나타 우타 페치 탄시 치 아니 켄데 강 베절바나 야니 케라 로키르비 로스나케르 아바 크루툰 코 바차인 모 코즈 야니 케르나 야와 야니 켄데 케사르 케라 로키르비 로스나케르 데가나 아망 아잔 치자 야네 자마 추믹 동 아자자 tum치 절바나 야 타자자 tum제네 치땅 케라 यानी केरना चिगासो
आपका नाम क्या है?
गुलाम मोहम्मद जवान ये मलिक।
अच्छा, ये आपने केसर कहाँ से सीखी?
अपनी माँ से सीखा, दादा से सीखा।
उन्होंने कहाँ से सीखा?
क्या पता कहाँ से सीखा, वो तो हमको खबर नहीं है।
अच्छा, तो द्रास में काफी लोग हैं जो केसर सुनाते हैं?
काफ़ी है, कौन है काफ़ी, जितना ज़्यादा नहीं है इधर, वो गुजर गया जो सुनते वाले कहने वाला।
कुछ लोग कहते हैं ये केसर सुनाना मना है, ऐसा
शरण है ना,
हाँ?
शरण है,
हाँ,
इस्लामी शरण में
हाँ।
उसको तवज्जो देना गुनाह ही कहता है। वो गए ना, काफिर है, दजाल है आखिर ज़माने की, इसलिए नहीं तो क्या करेगा आप सुनने।
आपको नहीं लगता है कि आप कुछ गुनाह कर रहे हैं?
क्या करेगा, खुदा बख्शने वाला। किसी ने शौक करके कहने से कहना भी चाहता है, कोई बुरा भला कुछ बात तो नहीं कहता है और दूसरों को, और कुछ बात बकवास बात कहने से वही भी अच्छा है।
Somebody has described it as being the most pervasive epic in Asia. We're not talking just about Tibet now or the Tibetan-speaking world. They talk about it as, and in many ways, yes, because you find it in so many. There's a version, for example, in Manchurian. There's a version, of course, in Mongolian. There are versions in Mongolian, Tibetan itself. Burushaski is another language which is Indo-Aryan, in fact, and that it's found to be it's to be found in that language. It's found to be in Lepcha as well, and of course many dialects of Tibetan itself. So it is a very pervasive epic. The Buddhicized version, for example, has texts, and it could also be called the textual versions, because the textual versions and the Buddhicized versions coincide, as it were. So and the incorporation of it in the Buddhicized versions is very much where the patron saint is Lord Padmasambhava or Guru Rinpoche, and there are many other characters who can be identified with Buddhist deities. I don't know if we could say that there are Muslim versions of it, but yes, as you were saying, there are Muslim bards who sing it. And I think the interesting thing about that is that the Muslim ones seem to be the most folkloristic. And my theory, and it's a very personal theory on that, is that the Muslim, once they start to chant or recite the Kesar, they feel that there is very little meeting point between it and Islam. And so they cannot adapt it, as it were, to Islam, and so they sing it as it as it is. And because of that, one of my theories is that it has been preserved in its fossilized form best in the Western Tibetan regions, or the Western Tibetan speaking regions, where it so happens that Muslims are the ones who are singing it.
बताइए, आप कहानी सुना रहे हैं, आपकी केसर की कहानी और वो जो ब्रोखा वाले सुनाते हैं, उसमें कुछ फर्क है?
फर्क है, इसी को लिया ना जो वहाँ फर्क है ना। उन्होंने बोलता है अपने ख्याल के साथ, मैं बोलता हूँ पुराने शेष के साथ।
आप जो सुनाते हैं केसर, उसमें बुद्धिस्ट देवताओं का जिक्र है?
बुद्धिस्ट का?
हाँ।
बुद्धिस्ट का जिक्र है, जिक्र तो ज्यादातर उनकी वो होता है। मजहब का ज्यादा होता है। सिर्फ एक पार्ट में मैंने बोला ना आप एपिसोड उसमें है मुस्लिम का पूरा जिक्र है। ज्यादा सारे 17 पार्ट जो है उसमें बुद्धिस्ट का है। हाँ बुद्धिस्ट का है, सारे बुद्धिस्ट का। हाँ
तो एपिसोड में क्या है?
एपिसोड जो है ना वो मुस्लिम का है।
वो इसमें ज्यादातर मुस्लिम का वो होता है।
एपिसोड
सिलसिला
खुद ही मुस्लिम है, मुस्लिम का बादशाह है, इसलिए मुस्लिम का हुकूमत करते थे। उसने मुस्लिम का काम किया था। 18 बादशाह में से एक बादशाह मुस्लिम, 17 बादशाह बुद्धिस्ट, इसलिए वो एक एपिसोड भी उसमें शामिल है। इसलिए वो केसर से मिलकर एपिसोड ने हुकूमत किया था, बादशाही फतह किया था, बहुत सारे गाँवों को उसने कब्जा किया था। वो तो आपको कहाँ पूरा बताया है, कहीं 8 घंटा लगेगा अगर पूरा कैसा सुनाए तो उसको एपिसोड को।
Soon the armies of the three realms gathered. The 18 heroes arrived with Agu de Pale at their head. The lamas, the singers, the smiths, the carpenters, boys skilled in the use of slings, girls skilled in the use of the spindle, those with horses and those with yaks, all marched with Kesar. After 7 days, Ane Kurman appeared. She told Kesar to send the Ling army back and proceed to Hor alone. Kesar knew the journey ahead would be hazardous. He felt unsure and helpless. He prayed to Ane Kurman, "O divine aunt, please protect me and be with me."
आपकी उम्र कितनी?
उम्र हो गया जी 65, 60 साल गया। तो मैं थे और 10-15 साल और रहूंगा। अगर नहीं रहे तो क्या पता।